Hello YouTube, Prime here from the Autograph Stash, and today we're talking about the cost of a Robert Englund autograph. Now, for those of you who don't know, Robert Englund was a guy who played Freddy Krueger, and on his website right now you can get his autograph for $80. Today I want to talk about if I think that's a fair price, also some tips on what items to get signed, and just talking about how cool Robert Englund is really. I grew up in the 80s, so for me, he was the biggest horror legend I can think of in my time. There's really only one Freddy Krueger, and it's Robert Englund. There was a remake, I know about it, I saw it, I liked the film, but when it comes to the Freddy Krueger character, there's only one. Think of it like Bela Lugosi, who plays Dracula. There's been tons and tons of Draculas, but nobody does it like Bela, and that's the same way with Freddy Krueger. So let's talk about the cost of the autograph and kind of what you're getting. When you buy it from the site, you will have to pay for shipping both ways. It is 80 bucks. They do give you a COA though, which is pretty cool. And he's got a really great COA. I'll put a close-up of it so you guys can see it. The COA is good because it comes directly from the source. So if you ever needed to sell that item or if you wanted to trade it, that's really going to help get you the most bang for your buck on that. When it comes to getting items signed by Robert Englund, there's a couple things that come up in my mind. One is the glove. I've got one signed by him. I feel like anybody who has an autograph collection should at least have one Freddy Krueger autograph glove in their collection. And I think 80 bucks to have him sign that isn't too bad. I think it's a little bit high, but it's not too bad, especially when you think about he is horror when you think about it nowadays. The thing that you don't want to do, or at least that I wouldn't recommend to do, would be to get a poster or a photograph signed. Okay, $80 seems pretty steep for that, and I base that upon the resale value. Okay. If you're talking about like a signed glove, those gloves are selling anywhere on eBay, certified ones, for like 150 to 200 bucks. So let's say you get a glove and you didn't buy one of the cheap $10 ones or $15 ones. Don't do that. Just don't. Get a nice replica glove, especially if you're ponying out the 80 bucks. Get something nice to get signed. Let's say the glove costs 50 bucks. Let's say the autograph is 80 bucks. That puts you at 130. If they're selling for 150 to 200, that's an incredible value. Okay. Another thing that you might want to consider getting signed is the Freddy Krueger sweater. When people think of Freddy Krueger, they think of two things. They think of the green and red sweater and the glove. Okay. So those would be the things I recommend getting signed. If you've got a photograph or a poster, and here's the one rule with autograph collecting for price, okay? If it's something that you absolutely love, okay? If it means something to you more than anything else in your collection, at that point you already know the answer. The $80 is not that big of a hurdle. Get it signed. You know, if it's something that means that much to you. But if you're just thinking of something to get signed, something cool, and you see a cool photograph, I would pass over it. But if it means something to you, or maybe it's signed by other people, then it might be something good to look into. As far as like an investment goes, I'm not a great guy to talk to about that. But here's what I think is going to happen with Robert Englund's autograph. I definitely don't think it's going to decrease in value anytime soon. I do think when he eventually passes away that I think it's going to be almost impossible to find an authentic signed glove for under $200. I don't see that happening. The reason why I think his autograph is going to hold his value and increase in value is because he is so iconic. Think back to the original horror movie generation where you had Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Boris Karloff as the Mummy, Lon Chaney as the Wolfman, and Elsa as the Bride of Frankenstein. all those autographs are worth a lot of money. You know, they're the universal horror monsters. And when it comes to, you know, my generation's horror, we have Jason and Freddy, and there's other ones too, but those are the main two. Okay, and Jason has been played by a lot of actors, but when it comes to Freddy Krueger, it's really just him. You know, I do know that there was the remake, and I love that actor too. He did excellent in Watchmen. But when people think of Freddy Krueger, they think of Robert Englund. When people think of Dracula, they think of Bela Lugosi. That's why I think that his autograph is going to continue to do well. I hope this helps you out, and if you get some cool Robert Englund stuff, show it to me. I'd love to see it. Take care. Bye. And today we're talking about the cost of a... Put the fucking glove on.